In this video, I will go through the art of guiding an inquiry exercise. This is a big topic and one can look at many details around it. So I'll go through a basic structure, basic principles for an inquiry with a repeating question in groups of 2 pairs. Many other ways to do inquiry work, but this is a standard way we do in Living Presence and Zen coaching. So I have some points. I'll go through them one by one. First, as a facilitator, I decide the topic and for how long, more or less, we will do this inquiry. So for this video, as an example, I will use a 1-hour practice, plus minus. And the topic will be aliveness. So that's my first decision. Okay, we're going to explore the topic of aliveness in inquiries 2 and 2. So then I tell the group that's what we're going to do. And maybe I ask if it's okay, are you ready for that? Permissive language, requests, asking, how does that sound? Maybe somebody is in something else, so it's good to check. And in any case, it gives a feeling of collaboration. Then it's getting ready for the inquiry. So people need a partner and they need a place to sit. So the general principle of guiding inquiries is to be very precise and accurate in every step to minimize confusion, unless you want confusion. I have noticed some people enjoy creating some confusion. Nothing wrong about it. It kind of takes us out of the mind to get confused. My style is to not create unnecessary confusion. If I want confusion, then I can do a confusion exercise. But I prefer keep everything simple and clear. So it means everything has to be spoken. So, for instance, how are people going to find a partner? Often I like to say, stand up, look around or walk around and find a partner. That's the simplest way. Also, here you need to be clear. Is the group an equal number or an unequal number? Is everybody joining? So that you're not surprised when somebody is alone. So it's very good to have a helper who can be in or out, or else you will have to step in while teaching, which is a bit more challenging. So have a helper, have a support person. You can also say, find somebody you don't know if you want to create new connections. Or you can say, choose somebody you would like to work with for this exercise, or choose somebody you haven't worked with so much before. So you're precise what kind of contact, what kind of couples you want to connect. If there are real couples in the group, you can also give an indication if it's nice to split up or to do it together. Or you can ask them what they want. And then you tell them how to sit spread out, don't sit too close, take a mattress, take 2 chairs. We'll be sitting for a while, so make yourself comfortable. Then you make sure everybody is well placed in the room. Next, point 3 is your own placement in the room. Conscious choice. Sit so that you can easily have an overview and it's easy for people to hear you. And you're not sitting too close to the people doing the inquiry. I like to sit on a chair, so I have a little bit of overview. Not down on the floor if the rest of the group is on the floor or mixed. Then you invite people to say hello to each other, to learn each other's names. We have to spoon feed these things because people don't do it automatically, especially in Scandinavia. In some countries it's different, but it's good to say hello to your partner, learn each other's name, maybe where you come from. Support natural, easygoing connection. Then you'll notice everybody starts talking and relaxing. Okay, I don't have to go deep immediately. Then don't give too much space for that because you are going deep, so just a little bit. This is another skillful means when a facilitator gives space for the natural exchange, but not too much because we are creating a meditative space. So some facilitators don't give any invitation to chit-chat. Personally, I feel that adds a quality to the whole field. Then we shift the energy and you invite everybody to sit in silence and close your eyes, settling in. It doesn't have to be long, but the impact of sitting in silence together as a group is immediate and profound, even 10 seconds. Again, don't overdo it. Depends, of course, your intention. But if then everybody's sitting for 2 minutes and it's a beginner's workshop, it's too much. Probably. Unless you have said, let's sit in silence for a couple of minutes. Then it's different. Take a moment in silence. Take a moment. So we're just gonna be a little short moment. Sense your body. Take a breath. Sense your breath. So you're inviting in presence in an easy way. Not too much guiding, or else, in my opinion, or else it feels like too much spoon feeding. Now is a time to explain what inquiry is. If this is the first inquiry today, and there are some new people, some people have done it before, some people haven't done it before, maybe you're not sure. Let's say it's a mixed group, then you go into a short explanation of what is inquiry. And here it's good to cover such thing as, this is not a normal conversation, it's a meditative practice. It's a formal structure to explore topics in a meditative way. The structure is one person is speaking, the other is only asking and listening, no comments. You ask the question, you listen to the answer, you take a breath, say thank you and ask again. Or you say thank you, take a breath and ask again, relaxed. Your job as the one asking is to relax and enjoy, nothing difficult in that task. Your job as a speaker is to be spontaneous, don't plan your answers, you can repeat yourself, doesn't have to be deep, you can also answer in silence, but not every time. These are some of the main points to mention. Also to say, it's a bit like in archaeological dig. In the beginning, familiar answers come and then something new happens. When you feel you have answered everything, go to don't know mind and suddenly something more will arise, probably. Another thing to say is, it's not in order to get to the final answer. It is the impact of the inquiry, the felt experience, which is what's really important, not the words themselves. We're looking for an experience. That was a very short explanation of inquiry. And then you add things based on your own personal experience and what you find valuable about this practice. Again, don't overdo it, because you're starting a practice. So it's a short. If you want to teach inquiry, then you can do that for half an hour before you sit down to do it. So this is more like a reminder or a mini explanation. Then you introduce the specific question. First question. So you tell the group, we're going to work with 3 questions. Can be 2, can be 3. For 1 hour, 2 or 3 questions. Normally 3 is good. So I introduce, first question is, what is aliveness? So I say we're going to work with that question. And then I can demonstrate. So I have my helper or somebody else ask me this question and I show how I do it. Then next point is decide who starts. Point 7, decide who starts. So there are different ways to decide who starts. You just let them decide, or you can say the one with the bluest eyes, or the one with the longest, shortest hair, or the darkest shirt, or you say point at the one asking, or the one who wants to start speaking, raise your hand. That's a smooth way to do it. I like this way. The one who would like to answer first, raise your hand. Or you can say one of you is A and one of you is B, decide. And then you say A starts asking, B starts answering. So be clear, guiding that little element. And then you say, now you can start. I will tell you when to change. I will tell you when to change. Important sentence. Then you let them work, normally for 5 minutes is a good time, can be 10 minutes, but for 3 questions in 1 hour, you can do 10 minutes. But here, let's say we do a little shorter to have time for everything, including introduction and a little bit of sharing at the end. So we do a shorter version. Let's say 5 or 6 minutes. So I say after 5 minutes or 4 or 5 minutes, I say stop for a moment, ask one more time, and this time answer in silence. Be the answer. So this adds depth. Keep your eyes open, ask one last time, answer in silence, and then you let them feel it for a while. Not too long, not too short. Timing. Yeah, you need to feel it. Then you say change over, other person, same procedure. Then you stop. Then you say close your eyes, feel the impact for a moment. Important sentence. Sense your body, feel the impact. Notice what's happening inside of you. Okay, you give them half a minute for that, not too long, not too short. Then so now we're gonna do question 2. And here we want to introduce a limitation, generally, an obstacle, an ego pattern, a defense mechanism. So one good formulation here is, tell me a way you limit your aliveness in daily life, or just tell me a way you limit your aliveness, to keep it simple. And then I repeat the question 3 times before they start. Tell me a way, and I speak slowly. Tell me a way. People often hear that sentence. Tell me a way you limit your aliveness. So it's about how you hold back your aliveness, how you control your aliveness, how you avoid your aliveness. Tell me a way you limit your aliveness. You can begin. Same procedure. Then after 5 minutes, stop for a moment, ask one more time, answer in silence. Then change over, same procedure. Then you introduce the third question. Tell me a way you experience aliveness right now. So we bring it into the present moment, or we bring it into an essence quality. Aliveness is a quality of presence, of being. So we bring in the essential yumminess. And then you say, if you don't experience any aliveness, then you say that. I don't experience any aliveness right now. I feel blocked. I feel angry. So you tell the group, you don't have to experience aliveness. If something else is happening, you say that. Repeat the question 3 times, and then you say, now you can begin. Tell me a way you experience aliveness right now. Again, last question in silence, sensing the impact, and then you do harvesting in pairs. So after both people are sitting in silence for a moment, you say, okay, now you're going to have 2 minutes each to share how it was to do this inquiry. How was it to listen? How was it to speak? What was the impact? What did you discover? So you give them some guidelines, questions. Not just how was it? What did you learn? What did you discover? What was the impact? How did you find it easy or challenging? So you give them some suggestions. Then you let each person speak for 2, 3, or 4 minutes. 2 is a little too little. Say 3 or 4 minutes each, but don't stretch it too far, because then you dilute the energy of the exercise. This is the skillfulness of a facilitator, the timing, how much time. And you can also navigate, feel the energy in the room. So you ring the bell not only after your watch, but also after the energy in the room. So let's say after 3 minutes, 4 minutes, you ring the bell. Make sure you have a nice bell. The Tibetan double bell is very good. And make sure you have, personally, to have a watch with a manual timekeeper is fantastic. A diver's watch. To avoid having to be on the phone all the time. Not so great, in my opinion. Or buy a manual clock. God is in the details. Then you come to an ending and say, let's come together and do a harvesting together. Then you have a circle, and then you ask these questions to the group. What did you learn? How was it? Did you have any big experiences? Was it difficult? Let's hear. Then you let people speak, and you give plenty of space for people to be heard. You mirror. You ask some follow-up questions. You confirm. And then you can also add a little comment, a little teaching, a little clarification. Again, balance, giving space to the group to speak, and adding your own input. That was the art of guiding an inquiry exercise in pairs. What I want to end with is, as a guide of an exercise, you are a facilitator of experience. So you want to empower the question in the beginning. You want to make it juicy. You want to make people feel some kind of engagement and passion and even a little fear around this question. So you're activating the field, you're activating the topic, the questions, you're preparing the soil for this question to go deep. So how you facilitate an inquiry determines to a large degree how deep the experience will be. And as always, it is how deep you are in presence yourself. It's like the group follows the leader subconsciously where the leader is in degrees of depth and presence. Thank you.